Hello children and welcome to St. Ursula Girls High School and Junior College Nagpur's online teaching module. Today we will start with chapter number 4, Environmental Management. In this module we will be covering the first topic, Ecosystem, a review. This topic is basically a recap of class 9th. Now let us move forward. Children, do you remember this picture? This picture is of the food chain. In your 9th standard, you have learned about producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers and decomposers. They are the parts and very essential components of the food chain. In this chapter, we will learn as to how the food chain and the various components play a very important part in the management of the environment. Coming to the next slide. Now, what is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is made up of biotic and abiotic components. Biotic means living and abiotic means non-living. And both these components are interrelated and play a very important role in establishing the ecosystem and on the whole the environment. Now, plants. Plants are producers and are one of the major important parts of the ecosystem. So are the herbivores. For example, the goat, the deer and all the various animals that you see on the screen right now are herbivores and they feed on plants. They are also an important part of the whole ecosystem. The predators, animals that eat the herbivores and thus help in maintaining the overpopulation of the herbivores such as lion, tiger, leopard are also an important part of the ecosystem and the food chain. Now my question to you all is that it's okay. We know that plants are important, herbivores are important, carnivores that are predators are also important, but are the insects that are present in very filthy means dirty places also important for the ecosystem? Yes children, they are decomposers and they are known as the cleansers. Insects like the earthworm, insects that you see on dung means gobar, cow dung, are all playing a very important role in the decaying of dead matter and therefore enriching the soil. They also play a very major part in the balancing and formation of our ecosystem and our environment. So children, producers, herbivores, predators, decomposers in all have to be kept in a balance to maintain the environment and our ecosystem. Have you ever heard of this slogan? It's a very famous slogan which is Jivo Jivasva Jivanam. Jivo Jivasva Jivanam, which means that one living thing is food for another living thing. And it is a very important concept in which our whole food chain is actually built. Now, what is the relationship between our environment and the ecosystem? The physical, chemical and biological factors that affect the living organism in any possible way is collectively considered to be as an environment. In short, your whole condition in your surrounding can be termed as environment. Now, this can be biotic, that is living, can be abiotic, that is non-living, or can also be artificial. Environment is mainly classified and divided into two types. The first is natural environment and the second is artificial environment. Now let us see what natural and artificial environment are. Natural environment consists of air, atmosphere, water, land, living organisms, and the continuous interactions between the biotic and the abiotic factor and their interactions are very important in the formation of the environment. Factors also affecting the natural environment can be direct or indirect also. The differentiation between natural environment and artificial environment is one of a very can be considered as one of a very important question for your board examination. Now environment can be based on two factors. That is one again biotic factor, that is living factor, and abiotic factor, that is the non-living factor. The science that deals with the study of the interactions, that means the relationship between the biotic and the abiotic factor and their dependency, is known as ecology. The basic functional unit to study ecology is known as an ecosystem. Now let us study ecosystem little more in detail. What is an ecosystem? Environment can consist of a lot of ecosystem at the same time. We have studied ecosystem in the earlier classes also, but let us again consider one example. A small pond is an ecosystem, okay, for the fishes and every organism that lives in the pond, whereas the earth at large is a bigger or a larger ecosystem. So how can we define ecosystem? It can be defined as biotic and abiotic factors occupying a definite geographical area and their interactions collectively constitute of the ecosystem. So this in red is the definition for ecosystem. Environmental balance. Now environmental balance, how can you achieve it? It can be maintained through a continuous operation of various natural cycles. In your 9th standard, I am sure you have studied and you remember the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the gaseous cycle like the nitrogen cycle and the oxygen cycle. The environmental balance is maintained due to the food chain of the ecosystem as well as the natural cycles which I just mentioned a few seconds ago. Now this is a very important fact. Human existence is totally impossible without the existence of nature. Hence, it becomes our basic responsibility as human beings to not only preserve the nature but also not to disturb its balance. It is said that we have got this planet Earth on lease from our future generation and not as an ancestral property from our ancestors. Hence, we should not forget to conserve it for ourselves and also for our future generations. Now, before I end this module, I am leaving you all with some homework today. This chart is also given in your textbook, which you have to complete. This is a case study which you read and you answer these questions. Such types of questions like case study, complete the chart, do come in your final exam and also in your board exam. And these are few questions from the textbook again, which are actually based on 9th standard but are currently present in your 10th standard textbook also and hence are considered from 10th standard. So children, please answer these questions, that table and this case study in your fair copies. So thank you for watching. I hope you understood this module pretty well. Stay home, stay safe. God bless you all.